The first reason is that it's highly demanded by companies. Most job offers tells you that you have to know how to use Unity. Games like Pokemon Go, Cuphead, Hollow Knight and more are made with Unity. So a lot of companies use it to make their games. Unity is a really good option if you want to work in a company because it's the most used by them. There are exceptions that maybe they don't ask you to know a particular game engine and you can choose any game engine you know. For example, Godot, Unreal, etc. But Unity is the most used by companies. It's one of the most used game engines in companies because it's one of the oldest. Unity was released on 2005, 20 years ago approximately. Another reason why lots of companies use Unity is that when it comes to graphics, Unity is known for its high quality, next level visual effects, the highly customizable rendering technology that the game engine offers, along with a variety of intuitive tools facilitate the creation of fantastic looking games. Also, there are a lot of companies that sell their products in the Unity Asset Store. For example, they sell their art, their visual effects, their audio sources, textures, animations, etc. Let's jump now to the tutorials, to the education that you have with Unity. As we talked about before, Unity is the most used programming language, the most used game engine, in the community. So this means that there are a lot of tutorials you can watch. When you're starting, you need a lot of tutorials, you need a lot of information to look up to. And with Unity you have massive information on the internet. Let's say that you can make nearly any type of game with just Unity's tutorial. In addition, if you're having some type of error while you are programming, which is really usual, you can search for it on the internet, on Stack Overflow, and I'm sure you will find a solution for your problem. Its community is giant, is massive. I think this is one of the most important points when you are choosing a game engine. Because if you have no information, if you don't have enough tutorials, when you are starting, you will feel so disappointed. One YouTube channel I really recommend you to watch if you want to learn Unity is Brakis. Most of programmers in Unity started with one of his tutorials. He explains very well and you can learn a lot. For example, I started using Godot. Godot doesn't have a lot of tutorials, so that's one of the reasons why I switched to Unity, because I didn't have enough tutorials, or when I had an error I couldn't find a solution on the internet, because as I said before, I didn't have enough tutorials. Then Unity is really flexible. What I mean by saying flexible, I mean that you can start making your games with Unity. Either if you are a complete beginner, it can be perfectly your first game engine. Also, it's a perfect game engine if you are like a middle known programmer, like as me. When I started using it, I had previous experience making video games with Godot, so it's a perfect option. Or if you are, let's say, professional with Godot or with Unreal, it's also a really good option to choose. Why? Because of all of the other points I've talked before, because you have lots of tutorials, so you can learn it really easily, and it's highly demanded by companies. One thing I must say is that when you're a complete beginner, if you choose Unity, maybe it's a bit difficult because of its language C#, that maybe for a beginner it's difficult to learn. For example, even though I had previous experience with Godot, as soon as I opened Unity, I didn't understand much. I had to watch a lot of tutorials to understand it. So if you want to start using Unity as your first game engine, yes, of course you can, but maybe it turns a bit difficult. As I always say, nothing is impossible. Again, talking about flexibility, you can either make games in 2D or 3D, and also both work incredibly well. The performance of making 3D games is incredible. You can make a lot of great things in 3D. And also, if you are looking forward to make 2D simple casual games just like me, and my game swipe never stop, that you can download for the link in the description, please download it. Unity is a great option as well. Unlike Godot, that for example, yes, the 2D performance is great, the 3D performance of Godot is not really good. And also with Unity, it's really simple to make a combination with 2D and 3D, unlike other game engines like Unreal. And also remember, if you know how to make a game in 2D, the code won't be such a big difference to make this game. If you're making a game in 2D, it's not that different to make it in 3D, and Unity make this even easier. So Unity is a great option if you're planning either to make games in 2D or 3D, or if you are even planning to make games in both. Maybe some projects you want them to be in 2D or others you want them to be in 3D. It's very flexible. In order to install Unity, you don't have to buy a special license or anything like that. You can download it for free. Unless you're not earning a lot of money, like 100k per year or something like that, you won't have to pay for a special license. You can just use it for free. So if you are a beginner, you are starting, or you have some games published but you aren't a big company, or you aren't earning a lot of money from your creations with Unity, you're not going to have any problem with buying licenses or anything like that. I think it's fair for Unity to ask for money when you are earning a lot of money. Even though these licenses aren't cheap, if you're earning like 100k per year, it shouldn't be a big problem to buy a license, because you're using an engine, you know. If Unity wouldn't exist, you wouldn't have published that game, and you wouldn't be earning money from your creations. Let's say that you are an indie developer, you are starting to make games, you are not planning to publish any game, you're not planning to earn a lot of money, you're just trying out Unity, you won't have to buy special license. And that, people, it's a really great thing. Because imagine if you paid money to use Unity and you didn't like it, I don't know, because of its programming language, because of its user interface, or because any other thing, you would have lost your money. Then the Unity Assets Store is like any other asset store from Godot, from Unreal, from any other game engine, but the Unity's one is the biggest. You have a lot of pages, you can download or buy anything you want. Why is that? Because it's the most demanded game engine, a lot of people use it, it's the most used in all of the programming community. That's why there are a lot of assets you can use in your games. Some of these assets can be used for free, you don't have to pay anything. But other of these assets you have to pay for them. So again, if you are starting or you don't know how to make your own sprites, animations or visual effects, audio sources, etc., by having a giant and massive asset store that you can download a lot of assets for free, is also a great thing about Unity. To sum up everything said on the video, Unity is highly demanded by company. That's why I recommend you to learn Unity if you want to work in a company, because most job offers ask you to know Unity. Also because a lot of people use Unity to make their own projects. There are a lot of tutorials on the internet. When you are a beginner, you need tutorials, you need information, and Unity has a lot of it. The flexibility of Unity is incredibly good. If you are starting, it's a good game engine. If you know maybe how to make simple games, also Unity is a great option. And if you're a professional of game engines, of how to make games, also Unity is a good option for you. You can make both 2D and 3D projects, and how to connect both dimensions is great with Unity. If you are starting, you don't have to buy a license. You only have to buy a license if you are earning a lot of money. The Unity asset store is incredible. You have a lot of things to buy or download for free. So if you don't know how to make your own sprites or assets in general, the Unity asset store is the best thing you can take advantage of. If I were you, I would absolutely try Unity. In just a couple of weeks or 1 or 2 months, you can learn it. There is a giant community waiting for you to start using it. And I have some other videos about Unity in the channel, so you can watch them as well. This is all I had to say in this video. If you have been using Unity for maybe a day, just a couple of hours, a month, a year, etc., please, what do you think about Unity? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, download all of my games in the description below, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.